Hi, I'm Titus, and today I'll be talking about 5 unique people who work for the gaming industry, which is just a fancier way of saying they get to play video games for a living. The first person I'll be talking about is Nikki Crenshaw. She is currently a user researcher at Blizzard Entertainment. Now, she kicked butt in school. She got her PhD in informatics and her bachelor's in psychology, and she was looking for a job, and one day she decided to attend an annual summit called Games Users Research for gamers across the country. And she was fortunate enough to meet somebody at Blizzard who would eventually give her an internship to work for the company. Her future career goals are to stay in gaming research, whether she sticks with Blizzard or whether she decides to move on to a different gaming company. The most challenging thing about her job is the amount of questions that she receives. You know, sometimes she just can't answer all those questions on her own. And sometimes I even question myself, so maybe me and Nikki are the same person. The most rewarding thing about her job is that she gets to make an impact on games, and she gets recognized for doing so, which she thinks is the best feeling that she could ever feel. Nikki's advice is to look into disciplines that go into making a game and figuring out where exactly you want to leverage your skills. And an interesting fact about Nikki is that they have multiple World of Warcraft tattoos, which is very fitting for somebody who works at Blizzard. The next person on our list is Logan Pittman, who goes by the name of Spuda on Twitch. They are currently a full-time esports team member and streamer on Twitch. Back then, they practiced video games a lot after they injured their shoulder from playing sports, specifically baseball, and they were playing a lot of different games, but the game that stuck out the most to them during their downtime was Rocket League in particular. They began streaming Rocket League on Twitch consistently after someone convinced them to do so, and they were seeing a lot of growth until they eventually hit partner status. They would eventually be posting high leaderboard scores in the game themselves, and they would eventually land several spots in different esports teams, a few of them being Team Allegiance, Sonics, Ghost Gaming, and our very own CSUF esports team. Their future career goals are to be a content creator for as long as they can possibly be. One of Logan's most challenging things about his job is that he grew up being an introvert, and he can find streaming to be kind of stressful sometimes, along with meeting fans at events. But one of the most rewarding things is being able to entertain people and help them escape the reality of life's problems. Logan's advice is to not look at streaming as a full-time job, but rather as a hobby, because you never know what life may throw at you. Sometimes you just can't commit to streaming full-time. But if you do want to do it, and you like it enough, and people like what you are doing, it might in fact become a career. And one of the things that we can both agree on as streamers is to ignore the numbers, because that'll help you enjoy streaming a lot more. An interesting fact about Logan is that they were Pitcher of the Year for their high school baseball team. The next person on our list is Jalissa Eliasson. They are currently a creative producer on Twitch and work specifically with the marketing and creative campaigns. Before she was big on Twitch, she previously worked at a digital media agency where she was trying to influence her creative job experience. But she eventually found that this agency was just not a fit for her, because she eventually had to leave due to not being heard and her opinions not being validated. So she was bold enough to reach out to the current Twitch manager about an opening, and she actually got a job at Twitch, and to this day she still feels validated in her current position. Her future career goals are to continue working in gaming adjacent jobs and get more involved in different aspects, but specifically she would like to become a narrative producer or create story development for future games to come. The most challenging thing about her job is that she works large projects in small timelines, which I'm sure everyone can relate to. And one of the most rewarding things about their job is that she is very versatile and she is not pressured to make certain decisions. Her advice, which is some of the best I've ever heard in my life, is know where you want to apply and start applying there. Make sure you are knowledgeable about what you want to work for. And one of the best things I've heard is that one quality resume is better than many rushed resumes. And of course, make sure you network with people. And an interesting fact about them is that they were once on a low-budget reality show called Dream Quest. And if I'm looking at this correctly, this is a screenshot of young Jalissa from the show. And the caption where it says, "I think he's properly beautiful," is probably talking about me, since I'm the only one in this video. The next person on our list is Robert Schwartz. They are currently a gaming COD team player, aka a Call of Duty esports player for CSUF. They were looking on Reddit for people to play Call of Duty, and by they, I mean Robert and his friends. Now, eventually, someone at CSUF wanted to make an official COD team after finding these guys on Reddit, but Robert and his friends had to go through 3 different tryouts to get in, And they did so well that they were in fact part of the team. Today, there are 3 different teams: the blue team, which is the team Robert's in, the orange team, which is for junior varsity, and the white team, which is for freshmen. They're currently at about 20 members today and are planning to keep growing this team. Robert's future career goals are to continue growing this team as a community while having fun playing together. One of the most challenging things about being in a Call of Duty team like this one is that taking losses can be frustrating, especially in key games. I'm sure there are plenty of rage compilations out there that perfectly explain that feeling. But the most rewarding thing about the job is that the community is very respectful and they treat each other like a family. Robert's advice is to make sure that you balance everything in life before you commit to something like playing in an esports team full-time, knowing your options, as well as choosing your options wisely. And an interesting fact about them is that they are a dedicated COD player, and they have been playing it for about 15 years. Last person on my list is Logan Clampett. They are a professional esports NASCAR driver. They started playing a racing simulator called iRacing, which sounds like an Apple ripoff. Eventually, he got so good at iRacing that people started noticing his skill, and they asked about him going full-time. They introduced him to many people until he became a member of the Esports NASCAR Association. Logan's future career goals are to continue playing NASCAR professionally while learning how to be a software developer and engineer. The most challenging thing about his job is that practicing every single day can be tiring and can take a lot of time out of the schedule. Sometimes life just hits you harder than the NPC car that Logan is racing as, so that's entirely relatable. But one of the most rewarding things about his job is how many people looks up to him. You know, he's gotten recognized throughout the years. He's gotten people to sign his autograph, take pictures with him, so he loves the publicity. It's great for him. The advice that Logan would advise is to put in the time to make something meaningful for your life, because obviously you don't want to do something that you're not passionate about, as well as creating connections so you're not afraid to reach out. And an interesting fact about Logan is that they are currently majoring in computer science while playing NASCAR full-time. Thank you.